Hey everyone, this is Sean. Today I want to introduce you to Agent Team and Agent Swarm. These are two of the latest AI agents concepts. We're going to walk you through the system design real quick, and then we're going to test it with the products out there on the market. Just in January, Kimi AI launched a new model called K2.5, where they introduced their Agent Swarm product feature, which can help you break down your task into 100 sub-agents that will work in parallel. And then shortly after that, in February, Claude Opus 4.6 was launched, and then they also made a huge update on introducing agent teams in Claude Code. These two are not exactly the same concepts. Doesn't matter if you're technical or not, I'm going to introduce these things to you very clearly, and then we're going to test two products at the same time with the same problem to see which one does a better job at breaking down tasks. And lastly, we're also going to quickly talk about the difference between Team, Swarm, and Deep Research Agent. There's quite a bit of similarities and differences, so it's going to be a really fun video. Let's get started. So normally when we talk about AI agent, we can start with a single agent. Basically, you can imagine you're talking to ChatGPT where you're sending a user prompt. You can say, help me research who is the best AI builder and YouTuber on the internet. And then the LLM agent from ChatGPT will be processing this information, and they'll be using a tool, for example, a search API to look on the internet. And maybe they find Sean is the best AI builder and YouTuber on the internet. So that finishes one task for a single agent. And then things can get a little bit more complicated. We can introduce a sequential agents. After the user asks the first question, they can send that to a research agent first, and it's going to pass down the context that it has researched to the next agent called analysis agent, which probably will do a lot of processing after the research online. And after the analysis agent has finished, it's probably going to call a report agent, which will write the report for you. You can think of it as just a sequential workflow that would happen in a lot of daily life and daily work. Okay. One problem with sequential agents is that they're doing things one by one, and there's an order there. So sometimes it could take a really long time, or maybe you want to increase the capacity of work. So that's why agent teams comes really handy. Claude Code is basically using a leader agent first to process this new prompt. And then the leader agent is going to think, what can it do to make this such a thorough and nice report? What you can do is that you can define a few agents in parallel at the same time to process different tasks. The leader agent has control over all of them. Just like the deep research agent, you might have realized that. In deep research, when the user asks a question, they're going to clarify the question with you, and then they're going to write a research brief. There's going to be a supervisor agent that will be, the leader agent here, and then delegate all the tasks to the sub-researchers over here, right? So this part, I would say, is very similar, but it's not entirely the same, right? Because agent teams doesn't really have, some predefined clarification and research brief. All of these little workers are, doing things in parallel at the same time, and then report back to the leader agent. At this time, the leader agent is really being the boss here, the team lead. That's why it's called agent teams. This team lead is going to process all the information that the subtasks that, my workers have done for me. So what is an agent swarm then? Imagine you have a bunch of bees in a hive to work for the queen, and then the queen is basically processing a user prompt. There's a goal agent that will help derive some of the goals and specs that this user actually wants, right? Again, who's the best AI YouTuber on the internet? They're gonna say, okay, the goal is let me find like the top 20 YouTubers who do a lot of really good videos covering AI agent systems. And then they're gonna define some subtasks or even create some agents with templates by itself. You see, the difference here is that this goal agent is creating agents templates by itself. Each little one of these smaller agents are actually created right there instead of defined previously, okay? In agent teams, you have to define who's doing the research, who's doing the analysis and everything, and then report back. But in an agent swarm scenario, simply deciding, okay, maybe I need 20 agents and each one of them should be doing certain things. There's no human involvement there. I don't need to tell it who should be doing what. Right? So that's why you see like a swarm here. For people who study machine learning, it's kind of like a random forest where you have like little subtrees to make decisions on, say, classifying if an image is a dog or a cat. And then basically the system is just spawning some parallel agents, just parallel subtrees to finish the task. Eventually, you're going to crowdsource the information with a synthesizer agent, which is basically like the final layer of a random forest model, where they're going to say, okay, each one of you has done certain jobs. Let me compile them together, and then eventually, cluster the information together and then merge them into a deliverable that will become your output. So this was a quick overview from single agent to sequential agents to a team of agents with team lead to an agent swarm where there's simply a goal deriver and then just let the rest of the work done by a bunch of agents themselves without any definitions. And I think Agent Swarm would excel at a lot of tasks that would require a lot of parallel task processing without a lot of predefinitions. And that's very powerful because sometimes you might just have a really vague intent when you ask a question to an AI, right? You want it to figure out how to break down tasks by itself. But at the same time, I think it depends on the task. If a task requires a lot of like determined workflow and you want the agent system or the agent organizations to run exactly the way you want, like you're the board member or you're the CEO, then I think agent teams would do a really good task because you can have full control on who's doing what. But I would say both systems have really good batch processing features here because they will allow you to do multiple tasks at the same time. For example, you can imagine they might be doing search, downloading, batch processing files, talking to different agents all at the same time, which will save you so much time. But it could also consume a lot of tokens too. Unlike these simpler agent systems, Teams or Swarm allow a bunch of agents to have different opinions because they could have a different conclusion individualistically. And then eventually what they do is that either the leader agent or the synthesizer agent need to compile and reconciliate the decision making so that they can come up with a solution that is not, super biased, right? All of what I just explained were quite theoretical. Let's jump right in and test the product and see what happens. The first demo I want to try is to do a YouTube search. You should be searching similar channels like Sean's AI Stories. Explore those channels that do developer tools, automation creations, indie hacking, all these kind of things. And the result is that I want them to return 4 channels with their names and URLs. And the very similar prompt for Claude Code is that you're using agent teams and the context is the same, but then you can be more specific, teammate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what they're doing. So I have just pasted both prompts in Claude Code and in Kimi. So let's get started and run it, all right? You can see that it shows Agent Swarm over there. Okay, cool. Let's see. You can see that Claude Code understood that it's running an agent team and it's establishing shared framework for strategy editor. Okay. Oh, and then what Kimi is doing is that it's creating all these little agent by itself without my definition. You see, this one is doing a research agent. This is really cool. They have this role description. You're a competitive intelligence researcher specializing in AI coding. And then there are research agents too. You are a competitive intelligence researcher specialized in AI agent automation content creators. And this one is searching for educators, I would say, I think. Yeah, they're specialized in AI education. Okay. So he created these sub-agents in parallel, like a swarm. And then you can see what they're doing one by one. Okay. Louis is doing some searching, a YouTube AI SaaS solopreneur MR revenue. Jane, who's looking for YouTube channels focused on AI education explaining, is doing the following task. See, all of these were written by Kimi itself. This is really cool. And then let's see, Claude Code deployed all 5 scouts in parallel with the task, mainly web search, and is using tools. I can see exactly what they looked up for. All right, this YouTuber, I don't know who this is. Kimi has spent a lot of time polishing their UI so that it looks very neat, and you can see what each agent is actually doing and then check out their results. This is very similar to how ChatGPT was doing deep research, I think, where they will show you exactly what they're searching. I think Grok also has similar features where they will show very clearly and streaming it how the agent is doing the internet search. Whereas if you're doing Claude Code in the terminal, I think the UI is quite minimum, but I would say that's fine because Claude Code is mainly focused on coding tasks. Looks like Jane has finished her task. Let's see. Jane, find 4 YouTube channels focused on education. The final answer is they found 4 YouTube channels focused on AI education. Robert Miles, Jeremy Howard, Weights and Biases, AI Uncovered, and then generated a file. I think I made a mistake because I was supposed to say 5 agents here. Somehow I put 12, and Claude Code is doing 5. So I think we're using a lot more tokens on Kimi. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 out of 12 agents are finished. I think I'm gonna tell Claude Code, don't overthink. Let's focus on letting the scouts do the basic research. We don't need to use more than 10 tools. How come you guys took such a long time? Oh, this one's searching like foreign languages. That's why. Non-English channel. That's why it's taking a long time. Oh, look at this. It's like reading the channel real time. Took my request now. Got it. Simplifying. Scout 1 and 2 already back. Let me launch the remaining 3 scouts now with learner instructions. 4 channels max. Minimum tool usage. Look at this. It took my feedback. It was done. Scout 3, teammate 3 for searching for founder, building public channels. Only used 3 tools, 15,000 tokens. Previously, it was like 70, 80 tools with 90,000 tokens. Looks like both of them are finished. 10 of 12 agents completed successfully. Now compiling findings. Look at this. It's compiling the findings and launch clustering agent. Remember we talked about the synthesizer? That's what it's doing because it has finished the swarm and now they're processing the crowdsourced information with the synthesizer, or it's calling it launch clustering agent. Okay, and clustering agent is Bowen. Okay, Bowen, you're analyzing the competitive landscape for this and research data. Okay, so you see like all of these researched channels from other swarm agents have been used by this clustering synthesizer. It clustered 26 channels by positioning formats. All scouts are back now synthesizing a strategy editor as strategy editor lead. So this one is returning the information back to the lead agent, remember? And then it's deduping, clustering, and producing the final deliverable. The competitive landscape shows AI stories. Okay, there's a final report already. Honestly, it's a little hard to read this from a terminal. It took 20 minutes in total, 18 minutes, 14 seconds. Yeah, it told me things that other people are not doing. This is helpful. Non-English practical builder content. The Spanish market has explainer and news, but no hands-on ship AI product from 0 channel. Okay, maybe that's a good idea. Every channel shows happy path. Nobody documents what broke. Oh yeah, everyone's showing what's working, but nothing's not working. People don't show their failures. Okay, fair enough. Nobody's doing systematic applies to applies test, same use case, build end-to-end land graph. Every creator picks one tool and advocates for it. Impartial comparison C is empty. That's what we're doing. We're comparing 2 tools today. And next video concept for Sean's AI stories. I built the same agent in 5 frameworks. Why my AI agent broke in production. 0 to 10K AI SaaS stack. Claude Code versus Cursor versus Windsurf. Windsurf is dead, no? I automated, well, they're not dead. They were acquired by Devon, but I haven't heard from them ever since. I automated my entire YouTube workflow with AI agents. Okay, not a bad report. At least I learned that in the Spanish speaking market, there's not a lot of channels for hands-on building. Okay. Some of our customers for Automanus, which is a WhatsApp first AI agent sales leads tool, has customers from Latin America, and they're mainly speaking Spanish and Portuguese. So that's really good advice. I like that. Okay, look at this. I think Bowen now is writing the report. Cool, look at this. This one's done. So Kimi was telling me developer and coder is oversaturated. I agree. Non-technical founders underserved. Okay. Building public founder is moderate. Business automation is underserved. AI education is moderate. Okay, so probably this one's suggesting that I should focus on non-technical founders and business automation. 3 white space opportunities. Cool. Agent workflows for non-developers. Okay, non-technical founders. Rigorous tool comparison. This one is consistent with what Claude told me. Yeah, the impartial comparison C is empty. Agent workflow case studies. Theory heavy. Real metrics rare. For founders and business owners. Okay. Money related things. Okay, sure. Comparing Cursor, Windsurf, Copilot. How I built a 4,000 per month agency in 90 days. At least I learned something, which is there is probably an oversaturation of highly technical content, and there lacks a lot of AI contents that help educate non-technical founders or business owners. And perhaps I need to compare some tools, because every video is probably a very deep dive in one tool. And also people love money-related contents. And last but not least, I think in Latin America, there's lack of supply of such contents. Good advice. Thank you both, Agent Teams from Claude Code and Agent Swarm from Kimi. And meanwhile, I was running the second demo at the same time, which is a expert review of my current company, Automanus. We basically are a WhatsApp-first AI sales agent for consultative made-to-order sales. You can imagine like companies that are selling some complex solutions, like an agency or consulting agencies, or they could be doing B2B sales, like in renewable energies, pharmacies. These things are really complex sales, or even apparel, where there's not like a single SKU to be sold. Sometimes there needs to be a package of like the entire quantity that you need for certain products, and maybe you need to customize it a little bit. So that's what we're building to use AI agents to capture all these requests for a business so that they won't miss any leads. Okay, so now what I'm doing is that I want to ask Agent Swarm from Kimi and Agent Teams from Claude Code to give me some feedback. For example, in Teams, I was asking for 5 teammates to tell me about my product from VC's perspective: product, go-to-market, customer success, and legal. They eventually gave me a report. Okay, and I was running it, and this is surprisingly really fast. Okay, it's almost done. Okay, it gave me some advice about pricing. I should start flat SaaS, track qualified lead volume internally, introduce per lead pricing in month 3 once you can define qualify with data. That's true. Our investors gave us similar advice, which is later, if you have bigger clients, what we should do is charge our clients based on the percentage of conversion. But initially, we can do flat pricing, which is $200 a month. Design architecture to be channel agnostic, but doesn't build SMS in week 1. Okay, yeah, SMS is probably used only in the US. The rest of the world use WhatsApp a lot more. So Kimi had 5 agents. Owen was evaluating my product. Well, everyone's evaluating my product. What's strong already is that WhatsApp channel selection is strategically sound. 2 billion users. That's true. 2 billion users. Huge market. Made to order vertical target is smart. Yeah, because we talk to so many made to order businesses, and their sales process is a huge mess. Okay, the risk is defensibility is thin. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of WhatsApp agents. That's why we're doing a lot of sort of leads structuring as well after talking with just an agent. It's not just another chatbot. Some final comments. I think AI has been evolving to mimic how human societies, human organizations collaborate. Because I remember listening to a podcast the other day that the way to function really well in the human society is that there is a team of specialized workers like you and me who will be good at things that we're good at, and collaborating together, that's how we make the economy runs. And now we're at the position where coding agent is really strong. ChatGPT general agent is really strong. There are a lot of models that are very specialized at what they do, and what we can do is create agents that specialize in what they do too. Okay, so what I see is that we're seeing a trend or a shift from simple AI agents or simple AI agent systems to AI organizations or AI societies. And all of these concepts of whether it's a Swarm from Kimi or Teams from Claude Code, in my opinion, it's trying to balance the breadth of the amount of information that decision makers could get in order to make the best possible decisions, rather than relying on one specific agent to make a decision at the end. Okay. And similarly, in deep research agent, is not just the decision maker, which is clarification agent, research brief agent, and supervisor agent are making the decision without asking anybody else's opinion. Instead, they spread it out and delegate the task to every single researcher, and then compress them and compile them and synthesize the final output in order to make a more educated information decision making. Okay, I feel like this is the general trend, and all these model providers have realized that this is a trend, and that's why they're making these products for us. I would encourage everyone to try this out, because when new technology comes out, it's important that we feel aware of what's going on. I think the results definitely are decent for now if we're doing some research, building some features on a product. And I think they will take another couple of years or maybe just a few months that it will evolve into something that's much more holistic at doing tasks. So what we all can do right now is make sure we don't lag behind and that we're always informed about what is going on with all these architecture or infra-wise updates from these top AI companies. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this was helpful, and leave a comment or join our Discord channel for a discussion. I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.